Hello, credit union friends. Welcome to this episode of Three Questions. I'm Greg Michlig, President and CEO at CUInsight.com, and it's great to be joined by Ravi Nemalikanti, Chief Product and Technology Officer at Abrigo. Ravi, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and really thrilled to get your valuable insights in these three questions. Let's jump right into those. The first one is what trends and challenges are you seeing in the credit union space right now, especially around lending?
Yeah, look, I think credit unions are in a squeeze, and it's not just one pressure point, it's multiple forces hitting at once. If you start with loan growth, I think the recent NCUA data shows that the median credit union grew loans by less than 1% last year. And the headline industry number actually looks healthier than that, but only because the largest institutions they're growing at a faster clip than a majority of the credit unions. So if you take that out, the typical credit union growth is close to being flat. And at the same time, credit risk is climbing. So delinquencies are rising every quarter, and we've seen that in 2025, quarter over quarter. So it's a really tough place to be in if you look at the growth kind of stalling, and then the risk is rising at the same moment. And then you put that aside and you take the member experiences and what members are seeing. I think it's a recent survey that's top of mind for us at Abrigo, is that if a loan application takes more than 5 minutes, you can lose 60% of the applicants, right? Which is crazy. And it's not also not surprising because we live in an era where that instant gratification is key, right? And as the demographics change, you can see that actually showing in these types of metrics. So members are expecting a great experience and a fantastic velocity or speed at which they can fulfill whatever they're expecting, right, from their credit union. So you have the loan growth slowing down, risk is climbing. At the same time, member experiences they're radically shifting. So those are the transformational forces at play. And below all of that, if you distill all of that down, when risk is rising, the natural reaction is to, should we slow this down? Should we, right? Should we maybe have better models in place, better risk mitigation strategies in place, right? So that trade-off is the wrong conversation to have, to pick between, do we need to be fast or do we need to be safe, right? That's the wrong question to ask, while also making sure that you are responding to your members at a rapid clip, the Uber type experience that everybody's now gotten used to and come to expect. So the pressure isn't to choose between that speed and safety. It's really to stop pretending that you have to. You can deliver both. The technology is here to deliver that top of the line experience. So that's the trend and the challenge that we see just across banking and industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's a difficult environment to operate in when you have all those different variables being thrown at you as a leader of a credit union, trying to determine what steps to take to improve, especially as you said, there's that variation between large credit unions and small credit unions, and just trying to make up that gap in the lending space. And I know Abrigo has tools to help with that. So how are you helping credit unions respond to challenges today?
Yeah, so our mission has always been to help credit unions and our local communities. So what we tackle as part of that is everything that sits underneath all of those pressure points that we talked about, which is how do we help credit unions become more efficient? How do we make their processes more effective? Because you could be very efficient, but if it's the wrong process, what's the point? So maybe even rethink or reimagine some of these processes while also tackling the reality that most credit unions, they're working with disconnected information. The data is in like multiple silos. So how do you actually pull it all together and deliver the top of the line member experience, right? So what does that roadmap look like is what we work with. So we start with the staff experience as an example. We have multiple products. One of the things that I will talk about is Ask Abrigo, which is our AI banking and agent. So think about that as a really powerful conversational experience that sits inside the existing workflows that the team already uses and answers their questions instantly, pulling from the credit union's data model. And it could be sitting in, again, multiple silos. Doesn't matter. We pull it all together so you can answer a member related question, a policy related question. Maybe it's a procedure that maybe it's a teller that wants to have some information that at their fingertips to serve the member, because again, you want to deliver a top of the line experience, so it applies to everybody that's interacting with every single member, whether it's a digital interaction or an in-branch experience. And it could be a loan performance question, it could be a portfolio trend question. So it's really pulling all of that together and give them one singular conversational experience, which is kind of ironic because 2 years ago nobody really cared for conversational experiences, right? Nobody wanted to, talk to an AI agent, right? But now, thanks to ChatGPT, thanks to Anthropic, right, we've come to expect a high quality experience from these conversational experience, and we brought that to bear for our credit union. So this Ask Abrigo, for example, it saves on average a minimum of 5 hours a week for every single employee that interacts with it. And on the lending side, we've rolled out multiple assistants that sit right within let's say a loan origination system that can help accelerate the questions that they're after. It can help validate documents in real time. It can help draft credit narratives, which actually brings them to 25% more efficiency on day one, with the lender in full control of the final output. So it's not really taking the lender out of the equation. It's really helping them get away from the undifferentiated work that they have to do to fulfill a member loan application, as an example, right? Takes away the repetitive rules driven work that they had to do in the past. Now you don't have to do that. Let the agents and the assistants handle all of that legwork, and you elevate yourself to the judgment, right? That you need to spend majority of your time on. Our goal is not to take the human out of the lending. It's really taking the busy work out of the lending, right? That's what we thrive on.
I think really the environment is adjusting to that agentic AI and the conversational AI in a way that people are starting to understand the value of it to do exactly what you just said, where you can take that busy work out and make sure people are more engaged in the overarching decision making. From an investment standpoint, what is Abrigo thinking about in terms of innovation and product investment to support credit unions as you go forward in the future?
Yeah, great question. Look, our North Star at Abrigo is to truly bring AI to the communities, to the credit unions. What that means to us is how do we operationalize this transformative technology, right, in a way that helps credit unions get on that on ramp, right, and ensure that you can deploy this technology in a safe and trusted fashion, because our industry is built on that foundation of trust. And with AI, there is that risk that comes along with it, right, from a trust perspective. So first and foremost for us is how do we deploy the technology in that trusted fashion. And then the second degree problem that we try to go after from an investment perspective is AI. It's very easy to just latch on and as a bolt on feature, right? But that doesn't unlock the efficiencies, that doesn't unlock the powerful experiences that AI can truly bring. So how do we make sure that we can deploy AI in the existing workflows today, but also extend that to the art of the possible, so you can reimagine and the entire experience, right? As you understand the potential of the technology. So it's a really tough balancing act that we take on, because we are not a startup that just, oh, we have this fantastic new technology, just deploy it and you can be 10x faster. No, we actually take that trust very seriously, because we have hundreds of credit unions that we serve, and it's a big responsibility that we take to heart in ensuring that we deploy it in a way that credit unions can take it at bite sizes and be on that journey to go to the art of the possible, right? So it's a journey that we are really interested in making sure that credit unions do it in a safe and responsible way. So again, our goal is not to build a no human lending process, a fully AI centric process, but it's really to build and serve our mission, right, which has been the same for us the last 15 years. It's to remove friction, right, to the maximum amount possible, right? And we started with automations in the past. AI is another, while very transformative, it's a technology, and it's there for us to remove the friction, right, between the staff member and the member of a credit union, right? And that's what we serve. That's where we're investing.
Well, very good. I know you mentioned trust several times throughout this conversation, and I just want to say thank you to Ravi and to Abrigo for trusting us to help deliver your message to the credit union marketplace. Thank you, Ravi. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you today.
Just the same, yeah. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share.
You bet. And thank you to all who tuned in for this 3 questions video interview. We'll see you next time.